because it'll take a little while to go through its process. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium in Cassville, Missouri. The Cassville Wildcats in a Big 8 West battle as they start divisional play tonight, hosting the Seneca Indians. Glad to be along with you tonight here on the Talon Sports Network, KQMO 97.7 FM, and CassvilleWebTV.com. Also live streaming audio at RadioTalon.com. And week number 3 of the high school football season has arrived. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper alongside Jeremy Marple. Todd Speakman running the camera for us again tonight on CassvilleWebTV.com. And Jeremy, another beautiful night for high school football. We've been blessed after the first week when we had those weather delays with some really nice weather, and that continues here tonight. And it's hard to believe, we talked with Coach Weldy in the pregame show about it, but after tonight, we are through a third of the regular season already. It is flying by.
Really is, and you talk about a big matchup early in this season. Two undefeateds going at it. These teams are going to find out. Each one are going to find out how good they are tonight. I think it's going to be a good barometer for both of these clubs to see where they're at this season.
And, of course, most of the unbeatens through 2 weeks of the season are on the Big 8 West side of the Big 8. There's only one, I think, left unbeaten on the east side, and that is Mount Vernon after they picked up a win last week. It took them a couple of days to get the game played against Monette after they started on Thursday. Lightning delayed that when they finished up on Saturday but picked up a win. Cassville with an impressive victory last week over Aurora, fell behind early, but then 6 unanswered touchdowns gave them a comfortable lead at halftime, and they rolled on to a 42-14 victory over the Hound Dogs.
Yeah, really nice win at home. Kind of continue what they've been doing against the Hound Dogs for a long time now. But the guys, they look good. Lots of young players got to play in the second half of that game. I think I counted 9 freshmen on the field most of the fourth quarter. So another one of those situations where you build a nice lead and you get to start getting some young guys' experience out there.
Coach Hilburn has Seneca back to their old ways. Of course, he played many years ago for Coach Hodge, and now the Indians, under his second year as head coach, are off to a 2-0 start. And they defeated Aurora week 1 at Aurora 44-8, and last week they whitewashed Springfield Catholic 65-0. The Indians picked right up where they left off a year ago.
And they've got good players, and a lot of them are back from last year's team. So Wildcats are going to have their hands full tonight, and I expect a good, exciting football game. I expect a physical match out here tonight.
You look at the rest of the Big Eight, there were two teams played last night on a Thursday, and that was Nevada at home against East Newton, and the Tigers beat the Patriots. They are 3-0. Nevada over East Newton last night 68-0. The other Big Eight games tonight, McDonald County at Rogersville, Mount Vernon at Aurora, the annual Bell Bowl tonight on our sister station, AM 940. Monette is up in Lamar taking on the Tigers. That game on KKBL tonight. And then Hollister at Marshfield, Springfield Catholic at Reed Spring.
Another good slate of games there, and one I'm going to be interested to watch and keep an eye on is the Hollister at Marshfield game. I think that's going to tell each one of those teams something about themselves tonight.
Yeah, those two teams coming into the season, it's not like everyone was saying they were going to go unbeaten, but both of those teams had some pretty good publicity and some pretty good talk going before the season got going. And after 2 weeks, a lot of people are scratching their heads wondering what's going on between the Tigers and the Blue Jays.
You know, we've talked about it. I've talked to some of the coaches here at Cassville about it, and everyone's just kind of scratching their head at some of these scores and how competitive some of these games are. But another good slate of football out here tonight we're going to be keeping an eye on, and we're going to have a real good one out here right in front of our eyes.
Big crowd on hand gathering this evening for this one. Cassville hosting Seneca, battle of 2-0 teams here in week number 3 of the season. We're going to take a break and be back with more of tonight's Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where your life is their life's work. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Sports Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. The Wildcats hosting the Seneca Indians here tonight in Big 8 West football. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. It's time for tonight's field condition report. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call Security Insurance of Cassville, 847-8384. That's 847-8384. Security Insurance of Cassville bringing you tonight's field condition report. Well, last week before the Aurora game, we had a lot of rain in the previous 24 to 36 hours, but this week it's been beautiful, and the field is beautiful as we get ready for tonight's game.
Field's in great shape. We were looking at it before the game, and, there was some middle school football on this week, and between the hashes, it's great. Grass everywhere. It's going to play good tonight.
Cassville Marching Band coming out to get ready for the national anthem with the pregame festivities. We will continue on and talk about the Wildcat Keys to Victory. Mark and the gang at Wesco bring you the Wildcat Keys to Victory. Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances at 109 West State Street in Cassville. You can also find them online at wescohome.com. Well, right off the bat, last year it was the two-headed monster, Braxton Graham and also Mr. Mars. Well, Graham graduated, but Jackson Mars is back. So one of the keys to the win is to try to control him. He ran for 150 yards in the season opening win against Aurora, only played a half against Catholic and ran for over 80 yards. So he is their go-to guy carrying the football.
Very quick, got nice speed. The Wildcats can keep him moving side to side rather than north and south. And once they get there, wrap up and make the tackle.
Yeah, last year he ran for nearly 100 yards and a touchdown in the win by the Indians down in Seneca. So he is one guy you got to keep an eye on. And another thing tonight, we've been hearing about how physical the offensive and defensive lines of Seneca are. So you're going to have to win that battle in the trenches.
You've got to match the physicality at least, at minimum. So if the Wildcats are able to do that, going to see some success out here tonight.
Again, the Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. Mark Whittemeyer and their crew are looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football. And just like the quality portrayed by the players on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. We've got the prayer and the national anthem getting ready to take place, so we're going to step aside and let you hear from our sponsors of tonight's ball game as we continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where your life is their life's work. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. Cassville hosting Seneca tonight, and the Indians and the Wildcats both come in unbeaten at 2-0. Last year, Seneca won down in Seneca 27-0. Braxton Graham with 150 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Mars with 97 yards and a touchdown. But as we just stated before the break, Graham has gone to graduation. Mars is back. But what Seneca's defense did to Cassville was maybe even more impressive because they held the Wildcats to just 100 yards of offense and only 2 first downs, and Cassville had to punt the ball 7 times a year ago. And that is something they want to erase from their memories and completely flip the script tonight against the Indians.
That defense of the Indians last year was stifling. The Wildcats just were not able to get anything going the entire game. And I'm sure they've gone back and looked at some of that tape. And I'm sure there's been some challenges issued to the Wildcat offensive line, to the backs, to flip the script, so to speak, and play much better on offense tonight.
And it's crazy how this series between Cassville and Seneca has went over the years. You have had some lopsided affairs, but there have been more times than not very competitive, hard-fought football games. And there was a while where the home team was winning every year, and then there was a while where the road team was winning every year. Here in recent years, the home team has seemed to have the upper hand over the visitor, but you can never count on that. You can never do that in the Big Eight. I mean, you got to be ready to go every Friday night. And Cassville won 2 years ago here at home, 42-21. But as we just said, Seneca shut them out last year down in Seneca. So the one thing that will be different about this game, and we talked to Coach Weldy about that as well in the pregame, Coach Weldy said since he's been here 15 years, just about every year Cassville had to play Seneca twice or Monette twice because it was once during the regular season, once in the districts. Well, Monette has went up to Class 4. They've been up there for a couple of years. But now the crazy part this year, Seneca has dropped to Class 2. This game does not have district implications on it, and this will be the only time they play each other this year.
The only possible time they will play each other this year because of the reclassification. Class 2 has gotten much tougher with some of the schools that have dropped to Class 2 and some of the ones that we know are already there, and speaking of Lamar Tigers. But back to this game just briefly, there's only one thing that is for sure when Cassville and Seneca play. You're going to have a physical, tough, hard-fought football game. And that's the only certainty when the Wildcats and the Indians play that I can think of right now.
Boy, that's the truth for sure, and we're looking forward to it tonight. The tunnel is forming with the band and the bleacher creatures along with some of the fans getting ready to welcome the Wildcats to come out of the field house here in just a moment. Tonight's Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you, as always, by Les Jacobs Ford. They invite you to come out and meet Larry Westphaling in their service department. They'll fix it right at Les Jacobs Ford or refund your money. And they say go Wildcats. Les Jacobs Ford at 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. You can find them online at lesjacobsford.com. And if you are listening or watching the game on the mobile apps or on the phone apps, the Apple and Google phone apps are brought to you courtesy of White Funeral Home in Cassville. At White Funeral Home, they measure their success by the satisfaction of the families they serve. We've got a beautiful night, not a cloud in the sky. Temperatures are expected to cool off nicely. Not quite as cool as it's going to get by the end of the weekend. They're talking lows in the 50s, maybe some upper 40s in the valleys Sunday night when the cold front moves through. But we've got some beautiful weather here in week number 3 for this contest tonight.
Fall in the Ozarks.
It's creeping in a little early this year.
I can feel it. It's in the air. After July, I am so thankful for the temperatures that we're seeing right now.
That is for sure. After the June and July with the 90s and triple digits and all the dry weather, we have been blessed with a little rain now and cooler temperatures starting to sneak up on us a little early this season as well. So it's definitely being enjoyed by the football fans and the football players because they have to battle through that heat every week. And if things go according to Hoyle, this will be the final week where we will have the water breaks somewhere in the midway point of each quarter. That is mandatory, set by Misha. Somewhere in the middle part of each quarter throughout the evening, they have the stoppage of play to allow the teams to hydrate and cool down just a little bit, and that is mandatory through the first 3 weeks, and we're at week number 3 already.
And we have experienced some seasons where they extended that week 4, 5, and sometimes week 6 because of the heat. The heat just stayed with us that long. So I'm hoping the trend continues with this weather and just that nice, crisp, cool morning and 78 to 80 during the day. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
We'll take that, that's for sure.
Sunshine.
We're down to about 8.5 minutes before tonight's opening kickoff. We will take another break and let you hear from our sponsors. Be back with tonight's Wildcat starting lineups. You're listening to Cassville Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you at Cassville. The Wildcats taking on the Seneca Indians. Tonight's starting lineups for the Cassville Wildcats. First, we'll start with the offensive side of the football. Starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. At quarterback, Bodie Rose. He is a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Running backs, Trey Wilson, 5'8", 155 senior, and Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 170 junior. Receivers, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 140 junior, and Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 senior. Tight end, Isaac Hadlow, 6', 200 senior. And the offensive line, Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 230 senior. Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 200 junior. Nick Fierro, 6', 200-pound sophomore. And Austin Revelorio, 6'1", 230 senior. Defense for the Wildcats. At the tackles, Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. And DJ Glidewell, 5'8", 240 freshman. Defensive ends, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 215 junior, and Nick Fierro, 6', 200 sophomore. Linebackers, Riley Roark, 6'1", 205 senior. Keaton Schellenberger is dressed out tonight, and we'll see how much action he gets in. He is a 6'1", 195 senior coming back from an injury. His backup will be Canyon King, 5'11", 185 sophomore. Cornerbacks, Trey Wilson, 5'8", 155 senior, and Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 senior. Safeties, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 140 junior, and Joseph Burton, 5'8", 160 junior. Wildcat starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip in Cassville. For fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, and snacks, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Team captains are lining up and getting ready to go out with Coach Weldy to meet Coach Hilburn and the Seneca captains. Schellenberger along with Christian Tidwell, and we've got down there as well Ethan Lamborn and Hernan Hernandez, the four captains for the Wildcats. Cassville in their home black uniforms, black jerseys, black pants, black helmets with the Wildcat on the side and the gold numerals on the front and back. Seneca in their traditional red and white with the white helmets. They've got the white jerseys, red pants, all white helmets, and the red numbers. Tonight's coin toss is brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Dade, Berry, Lawrence counties. You can go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Shade has pretty much encompassed the field now. A little bit of sun still down on the north end, but it won't be lasting long as the days continue to get shorter as we move farther into the month of September. As we said, we're already into week number 3 of the high school football season. The officiating crew going over the rules and regulations here at Cassville. Every team has, or most do, have a little bit of something that officials have to remind visitors about. The coaches have been dismissed, and now we will have the coin toss. Still talking with the captains, see who wants to call it. The coin is in the air. And they're talking to Seneca. So Seneca has won the toss. And do they want the football? No. They have deferred their option to the second half, so Cassville's offense is going to get the first crack at it here this evening.
Cassville last year seemed like they won most of the coin flips, and this year it's just kind of flip-flopped on them. They're not very successful calling that flip. They may need to change who's calling it.
Change their tactic as to what's going on.
Yes.
Cassville will be coming out of the north end zone, heading towards the south end zone here in tonight's opening quarter. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, it's Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware, and you can also drop by and check out all of the selections of mums and fall decorating items they have. They always have a great selection of mums. And just trying to pull out my other little sheet. There we go. They've got all sizes and colors. They also have pumpkins of several different sizes as well. So check them out. Halloween still quite a ways away, but once September arrives, even before it officially turns fall on the calendar, a lot of people like to get out and start decorating their porches and around their landscaping. So drop by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville, and check out their supply of mums and fall decorating items. They'll continue to be updated as we go on through the month of September. Bodie Rose, Hernan Hernandez, and Trey Wilson drop back deep for Cassville. And it will be, it appears, Ian Heffron.
A little different look in the return game for the Wildcats. Three guys deep.
Correction, Enoch Miller, a senior, kicking things off. He awaits the whistle, gets it, and kicks it away. A high kick, but a short kick coming up the field at Bodie Rose at the 16-yard line. Comes to the right side and gets a block at the 20, out across the 25 to the 30 before he has finally run out of bounds. Looked like Seneca had him bottled up back around the 20-yard line, but a good block sprung him for an extra 10 or 12 yards.
Yeah, Rose has that ability to be shifty, and we saw it right there. Just kind of a hip shake, able to get to the outside. Nice return there for the Wildcats.
They spot him down all the way out at the 33, so good starting field position for Cassville on their opening drive of the night. Rose, the quarterback, sophomore. He's ran for 226 yards and a touchdown. He's thrown for 242 yards and 3 scores. Trey Wilson has ran for 168 and 4 touchdowns. And also coming out of the backfield, Bryson Jacobson. He's had 106 yards rushing and scored 2 touchdowns last week against the Hound Dogs. Split backfield, twin receivers to the left. Rose is going to run to the short side. Seneca does a good job coming up to the line of scrimmage, bottling things up and running Rose out of bounds into the Cassville sidelines. He is able to run behind a couple of blockers and pick up yardage across the 35 out to the 37 for a pickup of 4 yards.
2 wide receivers lined up all the way across the field. The Wildcats come back to their own sideline. Pretty nice job there by the Indians, stretching Rose to the sideline as they were shaded to that strong side, to the wide side of the field.
Just underway here in the opening quarter, Cassville's first drive of the night, and now they go with a full house backfield. Rose fakes the handoff up the middle, trying to bounce it outside, and he is run down back at the 35-yard line. They may give him the 36. We'll see where they spot the football. Either way, it's going to be a loss on the play. They do spot him down at the 36 for a loss of 1, and it'll bring up 3rd and 7.5.
Yeah, trying to run the option game right there, and this is what we've heard about this Indian defense, is they fly to the football, and we saw it right there. Great pursuit out of their linebackers.
Yeah, not as big as we've seen the last couple of years, especially up front, but they make up with that with speed and athleticism.
Yeah, they can really cover some ground out there.
So 3rd and long with 11 minutes left to go here in quarter number 1, just underway here at Cassville. They go with a single setback, a couple of wing backs. They bring one in motion. Now we got a whistle. And we do have a flag thrown.
Offsides against the defense. We'll make this 3rd down a little more manageable here.
So our first penalty flag of the night goes against Seneca. That'll move the ball out to the 41. Cassville now facing 3rd down and about 3.
Moving the chains offensively, staying on the field is going to be key tonight for the Wildcats.
They keep the same formation. Again, they bring Wilson in motion. Rose rolling to his right, throws to Wilson out in the flat, and right there to make the stop is the Indians defense as Morgan Vaughn drops Wilson for a pickup of only a yard, and it'll bring up 4th and 1.
They'll sprint out pass play there. Rose to Wilson, heading towards that Wildcat sideline. Vaughn, the linebacker, got right out in coverage, and a really nice job, got right around Wilson's waist and dropped him before he could pick up that 1st down.
So 4th and 1 from the Cassville 42.
Not sure what they're looking at. Are they going to measure this?
Yeah, they are, but
wow.
I'm not for sure whether they're trying to figure out where the spot should be or what, but they are bringing the chains across, and I mean there is a full yard or better between where the football is setting and where the end of the chains are, and I think maybe that's what they're looking at, or were they? I'm not for sure, but they did bring the chains out, so the measurement is brought to you by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. Well, that's one of the strangest measurements I think I've ever seen.
That looked pretty obvious from here, but
especially if that's what they were looking at.
I know we're not on the field, so we can't really say for sure, but everyone in the stands definitely caught that.
So Hernan Hernandez in to punt it away. Seneca drops no one, and Hernandez gets a booming kick, bounces at the 20-yard line and goes out of bounds just shy of the 10. Took a kind of a funny sideways bounce. Looks like they're going to say it actually crossed the sideline at the 15, but still a good punt by Hernandez.
Very good punt, and unfortunately for the Wildcats, you called it. They got that side kick, headed towards the sideline. They had just nearly perfect momentum behind the ball to roll down there near that goal line, but the Indians catch a break right there.
A 42-yard kick, no return, and Seneca takes over for the first time offensively here tonight. Gavin Hoover from the shotgun. Got a pair of offensive players off his right hip. Fakes the handoff to the motion man. He's going to run it himself, and he quickly bursts out across the 15 to the 20-yard line. as he takes it off left tackle and picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, had a hole open up. Wildcat defender stepped right up in there, took the quarterback on head on, but tough running that time by Hoover, got through the tackle.
So Hoover is able to pick up 5 yards on first down, 2nd down and 5 facing the Indians. Twin receivers to the right. Hoover running the option this time, pitches it back to Mars. Mars trying to get to the edge, and he's got the corner. He's across the 30, across the 40, makes a man miss at the 45. He's into Cassville territory. Run down from behind at the Wildcat 40-yard line by Joseph Burton.
Burton saves a touchdown right there. Same defender that just stepped up in a hole. Wasn't real successful on tackle this time. All-out hustle, racing across the field over near the Seneca sideline. He runs the ball carrier down and brings him down, saves a touchdown for his defense. Nice play.
41-yard scamper by Jackson Mars the first time he touches the ball tonight. And it's 1st and 10 Seneca at the Cassville 39. Trips out to the left this time, and they fake the handoff to Mars. Hoover going to keep it himself, and a good job by the interior lineman of Cassville as they grab a hold of the Seneca quarterback and drop him for a short gain.
Good play by Lamborn right there. Got to Hoover early, brought him down just beyond the line of scrimmage.
It's a gain of 1 to the 38, 2nd down and 9 Seneca. Indians back up to the line of scrimmage. This time they go receivers right and left. And they still have 2 offensive backs in the backfield. Little offset formation. Inside handoff goes to Mars. Starts wide right, cuts it back inside, and slips across the 35 down to about the 32. Picks up about 6 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 2.5, 3 yards to go.
Jackson Mars heading off the right edge. Saw a seam, put his foot in the ground, headed downfield. Not a big back, not a great big back, 175 pounds. He's not small, but very quick with the football.
First 3rd down situation facing the Indians here tonight. They go unbalanced left. 8 minutes left to play in the opening quarter, no score. High snap to Hoover. He's going to keep it himself. He's got the first down, breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and runs his way down to the 21-yard line.
Brought down in the secondary by the safety Hernandez. Hoover this time, I tell you what, Hoover, when he takes off with the football, he is not shying away from that contact as he is lowering the shoulder and running through tackles.
It's a gain of 11 for Gavin Hoover as Seneca converts on 3rd down. 1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 21. Hoover's got Mars off his right hip. Checks the Cassville defense, brings a man in motion. And he fakes the handoff to the motion man, gives it up the middle of Mars. Mars makes a couple of guys miss and weaves his way through traffic down to about the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 3.
Seneca bringing lots of players in motion, lots of ball faking. Essentially what they're doing right there, they're freezing those linebackers, not letting them get a good read on who has the football. So, as fast as they are, they're able to get a step out there. But decent job right there by the Wildcat defense.
So 2nd down and 7 now for the Indians. And you can never forget about Connor Ackerson, their receiver out there. They'll lull you to sleep pounding the football and then try to sneak him deep. So Cassville quickly slides out on him. He's wide to the right. Gavin Hoover fakes it, and here we go, up over the top. He throws into double coverage and up over the top of the defender, and coming down with the football is the big tight end, Morgan Vaughn. Touchdown Indians.
Tough throw right there. 3 Wildcat defenders in the area, 1 right in front, 1 right behind. Vaughn goes up over the top, comes down with the football in the end zone. Pretty nice play right there.
7-play, 85-yard drive. The final 18 yards through the air. Gavin Hoover to Morgan Vaughn, and Seneca lines up to go for 2. Hoover calls for the football. He's going to run it himself. Starts out wide right, tries to cut back in, and he does sneak across the goal line, just barely, but the 2-point conversion is good by Hoover. And the Indians, with 6:54 left to go in the opening quarter, take an 8-0 lead.
The Indians, nice, work their way down the field. running the football down the field, ultimately throwing the football to score. Really nice catch that time by Vaughn, going up in traffic and high pointing that football and coming down in the end zone with it.
Yeah, he had a defender off his right shoulder, had another one in front of him, but as you said, he timed it perfectly and got up in the air and was able to snatch the ball away from the Cassville defenders. 8-0 Seneca. Not quite midway through the opening quarter. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. So the Indians strike first here tonight on their first possession. And now Cassville will get the ball for the second time here in the opening quarter. Wildcats had to punt their first possession. Trey Wilson, Bodie Rose, and Hernan Hernandez back at their own 10-yard line awaiting the kick. As Enoch Miller, senior, tees it up at the Seneca 40. We've got a Seneca player having some issues with his equipment, and the official is trying to send him off the field, but he says, I got it fixed. So whatever the adjustment he was making, the official checked him out and said he's okay. Now they tee the ball up and are ready to go. Miller approaches and kicks another high kick, but another returnable kick, fielded at the 15 by Bodie Rose, brings it to the Cassville sideline, and this time he gets taken down just as he crosses the 20, flying down the field. I believe that was Lincoln Renfro, along with one other player that I neglected to get his number, and Rose taken down at the 22.
And the Indians flying downfield in coverage right there, covering that kick extremely well.
So Cassville will start 11 yards deeper in their own territory than they did their first drive of the night. Hernandez goes wide to the left. Garrett Ewing comes out wide to the right. Split backfield, Rose back up under center. Tight end to the right side as well. And they give the handoff to Jacobson. His first carry of the night, and he breaks through the line of scrimmage and takes it across the 30 out to the 31, maybe the 32.
A nice hard run off the left side that time by Jacobson. Got through the line of scrimmage, cut back to the right, dragging a couple of Indian tacklers along with him. Good gain there on first down.
So it'll bring up 2nd down and 1 for Cassville. Pickup of nearly 9.5 yards for Jacobson on his first carry of the night. He ran for 2 touchdowns last week against Aurora. Tight end reset around to the left side. Cassville with a pair of receivers that way. We had some movement along the line of scrimmage. Still don't see a flag. Rose trying to run the football, and he is brought down back between the 25 and the 30 for a loss on the play. The line judge on the Cassville sideline reached for his pocket, but he didn't pull out the flag. But Seneca drops Rose for a loss back at the 29.
Yeah, I think the Wildcats got away with one right there. But Rose has had success in the first 2 games using his speed to get to the edge. He's going to have to realize tonight that's going to be a little taller order, trying to outrun these guys to the sideline because they are flat getting out there. So he's going to have to learn that real quick.
So 3rd down and 5 for Cassville. They were 0 for their first 3rd down conversion try. We'll see what they can do here. Lone back in the backfield is Jacobson. They fake the handoff to him, and now we got a flag in the Cassville backfield. And we have a delay of game. The play clock expired. Cassville didn't get the ball snapped in time, so that will back them up 5 yards.
A lot of things to think about. Young quarterback down there. His 3rd varsity start. You've got a defense that's formidable. They're fast. Some of the things you've been successful with early in the season aren't working the same right now. And you mean to tell me I got to keep an eye on that clock too? A lot of things to deal with as a quarterback, and especially a young one.
So 3rd down and 9 now facing Cassville as the last 2 plays. They have went backwards, a loss and then a penalty. Rose rolling to his right. Pressure coming from the edge. He tucks it under and he wants to run. White shirts all around him. He gets to the sidelines and across the 30 out to the 31, maybe the 32. And we're going to see where they spot the football here. This is going to be back close to that first down marker. They check to the sidelines and they put it at the 33, and that's about where the yard marker is on the far side. We may have another measurement.
It looks like they're motioning first down. Great job there by Rose. This time able to use that speed, got a nice block. He was able to step up inside it. He turned on the burners, got to the Wildcat sideline, knew where he had to get to and got just across that yardage marker. Really nice play by Rose there.
The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com and find out what they can custom build for you. On first down, Trey Wilson gets his first carry of the night. He gets hit in the backfield and fights his way back to the line of scrimmage, avoids the loss, but it'll bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, trying to play power football there off the right side, and nice play by the defensive end of the Indians to get off his block. Wilson trying to make something happen, tried to hit the brakes and cut back against the grain, just not able to do so.
We're down to 4:40 left to go here in the opening quarter. Seneca leading 8-0. Cassville facing second down and 10 at their own 32. Seneca shows blitz. Now they back out of it. Rose wants to throw, and the pressure comes up the middle and takes down Bodie Rose back between the 25 and the 30.
Rose took the snap. It looked like he wanted a quick throw. The receiver apparently wasn't ready for it. He had to pull the football down, and then by that time the pocket had completely collapsed around him. It looked like just a quick hitter was the design of the play. He just wasn't able to get rid of the football.
It's a loss of 4 back to the 28, and it'll bring up third down and 14. Once again, the Seneca defense rising to the occasion. Under 4 minutes now left to play here in quarter number 1. Indians with the 8-0 lead. Third down and long. Rose throws a screen pass. It's caught by Ewing. Has a block at the middle of the field, but then Seneca quickly swoops in and drops Ewing at the 35. Cassville needs to get out to the 43 to pick up the first down. It's a gain of 7.
Screenplay completed for a few yards right there, but I tell you what, this Indian defense is tough. They're disciplined from what we've seen thus far, and again, they fly to the football.
Hernan Hernandez gets the snap. He's going to boot it away, and he gets another great leg into this one. It goes over the head of Ackerson. He calls for a fair catch, but then he has to get away from it. It rolls all the way inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, great job right there by Hernandez to flip the field for his football team. Indians going to start deep in their own territory right now, right around the 6-yard line, as you said. Really nice job there by Hernandez.
That was a 59-yard kick, no return. First and 10 Indians at their own 6. 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Seneca leading 8-0. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. Give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. Gavin Hoover pitches the ball back to Jackson Mars. Mars trying to get to the wide side, and he's run down by Riley Ruark. The Cassville linebacker gets to him before he can make the corner and drops him for a loss on the play back at the 4.
Yeah, great play that time by Ruark, stepping up as that outside linebacker position, hybrid D end, toss sweep around to his side. He was able to take on his blocker with his right arm, and as the ball carrier came by and was able to grab with his left and then wrap up. Really nice job there. That's how you draw it up for the defensive end.
So Seneca backed up a couple of yards inside their own 5. Hoover now out of the shotgun is actually standing in his own end zone. Fakes it to Mars, looking up top. Launches one down the middle of the field. Trying the fly pattern. It's caught by Blake Hearn. The defensive back falls down, and Hearn is going to go the distance. Unbelievable. Hoover just threw one up. It was one-on-one coverage on the slant across the middle of the field. Hearn wrestled it away from Hernandez and then took it the rest of the way for the score.
Hernandez, pretty good coverage right there. I had a hand up in the way. But Hearn able, as you said, to rip it away, stayed on his feet, and into the end zone he goes. Huge play by the Indians.
96-yard touchdown pass, Gavin Hoover to Blake Hearn. And the Indians add to their lead. And now Enoch Miller in to attempt the point after. They went for 2 the first time. This time they're going to kick the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. So with 2:05 left to go here in the opening quarter, it is now 15-0 in favor of Seneca.
Wow, the Wildcats had them pinned deep, had a great opportunity to put some pressure on the Indians. Indians go up top, taking the chance. Big play. Both of their touchdowns have been great catches. Number one jump ball in the end zone. That one, great concentration to rip it away from the defender and stay on his feet and into the end zone. Wow.
And Hearn has some decent size. They list him at 6'2", 180. And he is another one of those returning receivers from a year ago. And just like that, the Indians have struck for 2 touchdowns here in the first 10 minutes of the football game, and they lead it 15-0. So Cassville, they've been in a hole before, but not quite this big of one. And they will be getting the ball back as Miller tees it up and is set to kick it away. Again, it's Hernandez, Rose, and Ewing back deep to receive for the Wildcats.
Well, the Indians have showed up tonight, and what they've done is they've hit the Wildcats right in the mouth. And now we're going to see how the Wildcats respond.
And now the ball bounces off of the Wildcat return man, and that was Trey Wilson, but it comes right back to him after it bounces up into the air, hits one of his teammates. He is able to regain control of the football and ends up getting a decent return out to the 33-yard line. That was almost disaster, but then it turned in the Cassville's favor.
Yeah, and what the Wildcats need to do right now, they need to relax a little bit, calm down on offense, execute, move the ball down the field. If you get in the end zone right here, you're right back in the football game. So it's just about execution right now and not getting out of your game plan.
Cassville again with pretty good starting field position at their own 33. Twin receivers to the right side, split backfield behind Bodie Rose. Rose gives the ball off. Cassville trying to run off left tackle, and Wilson is wrapped up and thrown back. They do give him forward progress, though, to the 34 for a gain of 1.
Indians are tough along that defensive line. They stay low, they fire off the football, they're hard to move. And then you've got that next layer with the linebackers that move extremely well.
Under 90 seconds left to play here in the opening quarter. Seneca on top 15-0. Wildcats facing 2nd down and 9 at their own 34. Ruart goes wide to the left. And we've got Hadlow wide to the right. Cassville looking to run the ball, and Rose is hit before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2, unless he gets a favorable spot. Nope, they're going to put it back at the 32, so it will be a loss of 2, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, Rose trying to find some room to work back there. And I tell you what, he has been hit and hit several times, whether he's trying to throw the football or run the football here in the first quarter of this game.
Cassville 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversion tries so far. Facing a 3rd and 11 here. Twin receivers to the right. Ewing goes in motion. They throw out in the flat to Ewing. He was open, but the ball a little bit underthrown. He was going to be short of the 1st down marker if he made the catch, but he might have had a little room over there on the Seneca sideline, but we'll never know as it goes incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, tough throw. Right-handed quarterback rolling to his left. That's a tough throw to make. Getting those shoulders squared and delivering an accurate pass.
First incompletion thrown by Rose tonight, and Hernandez in to kick it away. 4th down and 11. Ackerson back at his own 30. Hernandez, more of a line drive kick this time. Ackerson hauls it in at the 31. Trying to turn to the Cassville sidelines, or excuse me, the Seneca sidelines, running away from Cassville sidelines, and another good coverage tackle by Joseph Burton. That's a couple of times he's been downfield quickly and making a good stop for the Wildcat special teams.
Yeah, very nice play there in coverage in the open field. Tough to tackle in the open field. Burton flying down there, getting around the waist of the return man and bringing him down. Good job.
22 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Seneca with the football leading 15-0. Hoover, a high snap, brings it down, gives it to Mars. Now on the end around as they run the reverse to Ethan Altick. Altick turns it up the Seneca sidelines and is tripped up over there by Garrett Ewing. And he gets out to the 39 for a pickup of about 5 yards, maybe 6. And it looks like they're going to put it down at the 40 for a gain of 6.
Well, listen, that's a good job on that backside there. Flow of the play coming around to the left, and then they've got a reverse coming back to them. Hernandez coming up, forcing the ball carrier to step inside, and Ewing out there to help trip him up. Pretty nice job of being disciplined on the backside of the play.
That will be the final play of quarter number 1 after 12 minutes of play. Seneca leads Cassville 15-0. We'll take a break and be back with quarter number 2. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Second down and 4 now facing the Indians at their own 40-yard line. Hoover pitches the ball to Mars. Mars with a blocker in front, turns the corner, and fights his way out to the 44-yard line. Good pursuit that time by the Cassville defense. Not allowing him to get into open field, but he may have picked up a first down. We're going to see. They're checking over at the far side. They're looking at the chains. And it looks like we may have another measurement, or will we? The referee says yes, we will. The first down measurement brought to you by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert, your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more at MedicareDoneRight.net.
Yeah, deep toss sweep. And the ball carrier is letting that offensive line get out and around to lead the way. He's very patient with the football. Once he sees that seam, takes off with it. Seneca football team is for years and years and years. A few years there they didn't do it quite as much, but the toss sweep was a staple for many, many, many years with the Seneca Indians.
Mars does pick up the first down by the nose of the football. 1st and 10 Indians, their 4th first down here in the first half. As they move the chains at their own 44, unbalanced to the right. Hoover going to run the football, makes a cutback at the 45. Flag comes out. Hoover into Cassville territory, down to the Wildcat 45, but a flag in the Seneca backfield. And they're looking to the sidelines and a holding call against the Indians. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the leader in the region for diesel performance. If your engine's not running just right, take it to Roark Diesel Performance. They specialize in diesel performance. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com. 10-yard penalty marked off against the Indians. The second flag against Seneca for a total of 15 yards. And it will take it back to the 33 from the spot of the foul. So it'll bring up first down, and it looks to be about 22 yards. They've got to get all the way to the Wildcat 46. Hoover wanting to throw. He launches one, and he's got Hearn wide open again. Hearn with the catch down at the 33-yard line, and then falls forward for another Seneca first down. They're going to say he stopped at the 31 for a big gain on a 1st and 21.
Hearn right down the hash to Hoover's left. Hoover stood tall in the pocket, delivered a nice throw. Hearn had a step and a half behind the defender went up with the hands, made the catch. Another big play for the Indians.
It's a gain of 36, first down Seneca at the Cassville 31-yard line. Mars gets the call, tries to go up the middle and runs in to the outstretched arms of Ethan Lamborn, and Lamborn drives him back for no gain.
Lamborn right there, got off his block, wrapped up the Indian ball carrier Mars before he could really get going. Really nice job right there. Lamborn's big kid, strong, does a really nice job at the DN position for this Wildcat defense.
So Mars, after picking up 41 yards on his first carry of the night, has only gained 11 more on his next 5 carries, and it's second down and 10. Seneca with a 15-0 lead here early on in the second quarter. The Indians with the ball at the Cassville 31. Hoover runs the option, pitches it to Mars. Mars trying to get outside, and he's run down from behind by Burton. Joseph Burton, we've been talking about the job he's been doing on special teams. Well, now he does it on defense as well, as he does not allow Mars to get all the way to the sidelines. It's a gain of only a couple of yards, and it'll bring up third down and 8.
Yeah, Burton ran him down from behind. Mars heading towards the Wildcat sideline. Burton chased him down. Burton, in the first drive of the Indians, nice hustle play, a touchdown saving tackle, and he's kind of been all over the field, special teams and defense for the Wildcats right now.
Seneca 1 for 2 on third down conversion tries, and we'll see what they have in store here facing third down and a long 8. And Hoover's got a big hole, tries to quickly turn it up the middle of the field, but just as quickly as that hole opened up, it collapsed. Jacobson and Lamborn both there, along with Christian Tidwell, to drop the Seneca quarterback just inside the 25 at the 24, and it'll bring up fourth down and 3.
Now the lead backs all headed wide around the left edge. Hoover thought he saw something up inside, tried to make that cut. Really nice job there by the linebacker Jacobson, stepping up and making first contact.
So Seneca lining up to go for it here, 4th and 3 at the Cassville 24. They're feeling pretty good about their defense right now, so they're going to go for it inside the Cassville 25. Little slant route. Ackerson makes the catch at the 15 and turns it up the hash and takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Indians.
A lot of cushion out there by the Wildcat corner, and allowed the Indian receiver to just run and cut right in front of him. Hoover delivers the football right in stride, untouched into the end zone. Another Indian touchdown.
So the Indians extend their lead to 21-0 with 8:29 left to play here in the first half. And Miller in to attempt the extra point, and it's blocked. But Seneca did get the 2-point conversion on their first score of the night, so it's a 21-0 advantage for the Indians here, as Cassville came blasting up the middle and blocked that extra point try.
Well, I don't think we expected the Indians to come out and throw for 3 touchdowns in the first quarter and a half, but that's exactly what they've done. And the Wildcats are a little shell-shocked right now. They've got to find a way to calm down. A lot of time left in this game, but you've got to come up with a stop at some point. They had a 4th down, weren't able to get them off the off the field, and a touchdown pass ensued.
So 8:29 left to go in the second quarter. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing Cassville and the surrounding area with a huge selection of diesel performance products. You can give them a call at 847-6560 or find them online, roarkdiesel.com. Enoch Miller approaches and boots it away. He gets a little better leg into this one, and it's going to be returned by Hernandez, and he gives on the end around to, no, he fakes the end around to Wilson, and he's got room up the hash. He's across the 25, across the 30, out to the 40-yard line on a nice little ball fake in the backfield, back down around the 15-yard line. He faked the end around to Trey Wilson and kept it himself, and then in the blink of an eye, he was out to the 39. So good starting field position once again for the Wildcats.
Yeah, really nice job. Wildcats again coming out in a little different return formation this game, and a little misdirection there. Really nice job there by Hernandez.
Seneca with a four-man front. Bodie Rose looking to throw on first down. Steps up into the pocket, and he goes deep. He's got Ewing, and right there on the coverage is Ethan Altick, and no flags on the play, and the pass goes incomplete.
Ewing was starting to create a little bit of distance right at the end right there. But Altick was able to get a hand up there and knock the pass away.
Rose had been 2 for 3 throwing the football until that incompletion, so now 50%, 2 for 4, and it'll bring up second down and 10.
Hey, you down 3 scores. You just had a nice return. Why not take a chance downfield right there? That was the time to do it.
Split backfield, twin receivers to the right. Rose gives the ball to Wilson. He's got Jacobson leading the way, gets to the edge, turns it out across the 40, and dives out close to the 45-yard line. Inside 8 minutes now left to go. Doesn't get the most favorable of spots, though. They say his knee touchdown back at the 44, so it's a gain of 5, and it'll bring up third down and 5.
Wilson trying to race to the edge and get the corner turned. He was able to turn it, but tripped up there as he was heading towards that Indian sideline.
So another big third down play for Cassville here in the first half. 1 for 4 so far on third down conversion tries. Twin receivers to the short side. Rose pitches the ball back to Jacobson. Jacobson splits a couple of defenders, but is tripped up at the 47, and that is going to be short of the first down.
Pretty nice job right there of Jacobson getting a handle on that pitch. The relationship between quarterback and running back had gotten fairly tight there coming around the left edge. Rose put it right in the breadbasket, but they weren't very far apart when he pitched that.
Cassville facing 4th down and 2 are lining up to go for it here at their own 47-yard line, down by 3 touchdowns. Going to try to get something going here, see if they can get Seneca to jump. The Indians got 3 linebackers up within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, and they fake the handoff to Jacobson. And Rose tries to run it himself. He picks up 1, but he needed 2. And right now, Seneca says they stopped him, but the officials are going to give it a quick look. And they signal first down Indians. So the Indians have held, and they're going to get the ball back at the Cassville 48-yard line.
Now 6.5 minutes to go in the half, and Wildcats just trying to generate some offense, trying to make something happen. And the Indians come up big, going to get the football back in Wildcat territory here.
So Seneca takes over with 6:37 left to go before the break. Leading 21-0, and we have our mandatory stoppage of play for water. Timeout on the field is an official's timeout, and it's brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to their customer. Whether it's a loan decision or the processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services of Security Bank are generated by the local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank, member FDIC. Your Wildcat Broadcasting team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They say thank you to all of their friends and customers in Southwest Missouri. Over 25 years of wonderful business in Cassville. Go Wildcats. Les Jacobs Ford, online at lesjacobsford.com. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37. Give them a call at 847-6560. Indians take over on the Cassville side of midfield. Hoover hands the ball off to Mars, and Mars sidestepping one defender, trying to get around another one, but black shirts all over the Seneca running back. He makes progress to the 47, gain of only 1, second down and 9 now facing the Indians.
A nice job at the point of attack that time by the Wildcat defensive line. Not giving up an inch right there.
Indians send trip receivers to the left. Mars in the backfield with Hoover. He stays in the shotgun. He's been there all night long. High snap. He's going to run the option. Pitches to Mars. Mars gathers it in at the line of scrimmage. Makes a quick cut out across the 45 and dives down inside the 40 and then tiptoes his way down the sidelines and picks up a Seneca first down. Nifty piece of running there by Jackson Mars.
Yeah, it really was. Once he received that pitch from Hoover, he was able to work his way towards the Indian sideline and just tough running. And I tell you what, both of these guys, Mars and Hoover, coming out of the backfield, they both run the ball very hard. And they've been formidable tonight.
It's a gain of 15 down to the Cassville 32, 1st and 10 Indians. Seneca on top, 21-0 here, 5.5 left to go before halftime. They bring the trip receivers to the right side this time, and Hoover fakes the handoff, goes right up the middle, breaks the tackle at the 25, and now he slips into the secondary and into the end zone. Touchdown, Seneca. Well, you just said about how hard they've been running, and Gavin Hoover showed it right there once again, as once he got past the initial surge of the defense, he blasted through a tackle and got into the open field and took it in for the score.
And that happens a lot of times when you're creeping up to stop the run. If you can get through that initial, mess in front of you, a lot of times it's open field. And that's what happened right there. Hoover having a heck of a half of football here.
Cassville stops the extra point try once again. Second time in a row they've been able to do that. And the score remains 27-0 Seneca with 5:17 left to go here in the first half. Hoover with his first rushing touchdown to go along with 3 passing touchdowns. That one good from 32 yards out. And the Indians are 4 for 4 on possessions here in the first half of play. 2 long drives and 2 quick scores, although the quickest score of the night took up the most yardage on that 94-yard bomb. Actually, it was a 96-yard bomb because they had lost a couple of yards that Hoover threw to Hearn.
Yeah, great punt by the Wildcats, pinning the Indians deep. 2 plays later, 96-yard touchdown pass. So the Indians they got off the bus and were ready to play football tonight, and they are, the first half so far, they are handing it to the Wildcats.
Enoch Miller in to kick it away. Rose, Wilson, and Hernandez back deep. Line drive kick this time, angled towards the far hash. Hernandez has it, drops it. Now he gives on the end around to Wilson. Wilson tries a quick burst of speed up the Seneca sideline. Breaks through a tackle. He's out across the 20, across the 25. As a strong return by Wilson, running right through a couple of Seneca coverage people. And he is stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Yeah, great job there by Wilson. Took the handoff from Hernandez right up the Indian sideline. And one thing about Wilson, he's got that great burst. But we talk about the Indian running backs running hard. Wilson runs the ball extremely hard as well, and we saw it right there.
1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 29. They trail 27-0. 5 minutes left to go here in quarter number 2. Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. Just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the leader in the region for diesel performance. Find them online at roarkdiesel.com. Hernandez and Ewing go wide to the left. Split backfield. Now Hadlow, the tight end, resets around to the left side. Cassville going to run the ball that way. Wilson leading the way for Jacobson. Turns the corner, makes a man miss at the line of scrimmage, and takes it out to the 40-yard line. That'll be close to a Wildcat first down. Good job by Bryson Jacobson. Put the hand on the helmet of the defender and just shoved him right aside and picks up a Wildcat first down.
And good blocking out front as well, but that's a start. Move the chains. That's a start. Get the offense rolling a little bit. Good hard run there by Jacobson. Good blocking out front.
It's a gain of 11. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Their first in color selection. Find their gallery online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Rose now wanting to roll to his right. One of the Seneca defenders had pushed the Cassville offensive lineman back into his running lane. He had to reset and try to run around the 2. And by that time, the rest of the Indians defense was able to get back to the Cassville quarterback and drop him for a loss back at the 34.
Well, he tried to hit the brakes and he slipped, Sammy. If he had not slipped, he may have been able to step up inside the defender and make something happen. Once he slipped and tried to get back up, it was just too late. Things happened pretty fast out there.
So 2nd down and 16 to go now for Cassville. Seneca stays with the 4-man front. And the Wildcats going to run the ball. as they give it. Nope, now there's a loose ball in the backfield as the ball came out of the running back's belly. He was trying to get it to Jacobson. There's a scramble for it, and it looks like Seneca has recovered back at the 30-yard line as things are going from bad to worse for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was a pretty important drive for this football team. Not only you down by 4 scores, you have an opportunity to put something together going into halftime. Now you turn it over and you give the Indians great field position. Watch for the quick strike right here.
Indians take over at the Cassville 30-yard line. Hoover this time all alone in the backfield. Brings a man in motion. And he fakes the handoff to him, going up top as they throw into double coverage. The catch is made, but he cannot control the football all the way down to the ground as they were trying to drop one in between a couple of defenders to Connor Ackerson, and he had it for a moment, but he did not secure possession all the way to the ground, and it falls incomplete.
You could see it coming. They come up with a big turnover, got a lead. You could see it coming. They were going to the end zone right there. Secondary saw it coming too. Nice job back there by those guys to get in the way, knock the ball down.
Yeah, somebody got a hand in there and jarred it loose, and Ackerson couldn't control it all the way to the ground, and then he lost the handle. So trip receivers to the left now for Seneca. And they give him the inside handoff to Jackson Mars. Mars bottled up just as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Several Cassville defenders in there to pile in and make the tackle. Mars is able to surge ahead to about the 27 as he picks up close to 3 yards, and it'll bring up third down.
Got to think this position on the field, it's 4 down territory for the Indians. They don't have to pick it up, don't have to pick up the first down right here. But a big third down nonetheless for this defense.
Indians are 1 for 3 on third down conversions. They've also converted a fourth down opportunity here in the first half. This one 3rd and 7.5 to go. Hoover fakes the pass. Now he's going to run. Little draw play, and the quarterback has the first down, and it looks like he has the touchdown as he takes it down the left hash into the end zone for the score.
Just a tough half of football for this Wildcat football team. Still just under 3 minutes until halftime. But the Indians are just pouring it on right now.
Hoover's second rushing touchdown of the half. That makes it 33-0 in favor of the Indians. And they are lining up to go for 2. They want to get that 35-point rule in effect in the second half. They fake the handoff to Mars, a little floating pass out to the tight end Vaughn, and he hauls it in for the 2-point conversion. And the 2 missed extra points by the Indians are regained there as Hoover found Morgan Vaughn for the 2-point conversion. And it is now 35-0 Seneca with 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. 27-yard touchdown run for Gavin Hoover. He's now got unofficially 81 yards and 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns on the ground, and he's got 3 through the air.
Yeah, and he's thrown for, let's see, what do we got here? 30, 40, 174 yards.
And we're not to halftime.
Still got 2:56 left to go before the break.
Yeah, we knew we saw him last year as a sophomore, I believe, junior this year. So we knew he was a good player. We knew he had players around him. But he is playing some football out here tonight. And right now the Wildcats don't have an answer for what he's dishing out.
Yeah, the poise he has right now, he's got everything under control right now. They got to figure out some way to disrupt a little bit of the comfort level that he's in right now. Kickoff goes to Hernandez, gives on the end around to Wilson. Nice job by Wilson, makes a man miss back at the 25-yard line. And he is able to get out to the 27, maybe the 28. And they do give him the 28-yard line. The Wildcats take over with 2:49 left to go in the half. Seneca leading 35-0.
And once again, Wildcat offense coming on the field with an opportunity to start trying to chip away at this lead. easier said than done with the way this Indian defense flying around the field.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of football left to
Absolutely.
be played. First things, you got to get some points on the board to get that 35-point rule out of the way to start the second half. They give the ball to Jacobson, tries the left end. He turns the corner and takes it out to the 31, picks up 3 yards.
You know, I like that right there. You could probably, previous series, you could probably say the fumble went against Jacobson. But the coaching staff, the very next play, they have the football, they run a play to Jacobson. So, you know, I like that. That shows confidence in him as a ball carrier.
We've seen that a lot out of the Cassville coaching staff over the years, going back to a young man that may have made a little bit of a mistake just to get himself back right and get the confidence back in him, and that shows the ball carrier that the coaching staff has confidence in him as well.
Right.
So second down, end around goes to Ewing. Ewing hit as he gets out to the 33-yard line. Then a little extracurricular activity there as flags fly. And Lincoln Renfro, one of the captains for Seneca, steps in and tells his teammate, hey, we don't need that. Little extra shove there by Dominic Wheeler. And that will draw a penalty.
And that's going to give the Wildcats a first down and move on down the field. And if you're on the Indian coaching staff right now, you are not very happy with that play. You certainly don't want to help the Wildcats go down and build some confidence going into halftime.
It'll be a Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. First in commercial and farm buildings. Call for a free quote at 888-364-9527. First and 10 Wildcats out at the 49-yard line. Bodie Rose going to run it behind the blocking of Wilson and Jacobson, but flying through is Jackson Mars. As we were talking about what he's been doing on the offensive side, but he comes up with a huge tackle right there for a loss for the Seneca defense.
Good read that time by Mars. He just read the play, read his keys. The Wildcats, the first 2 weeks, have run that quarterback sweep play a lot. The Indians have picked something out. You know, they do their scouting, they do their homework, and Mars, reading his keys right there, just split a couple of defenders and got in the backfield to bring Rose down.
Because Rose had Jacobson and Ewing both out leading the way for him if he could have got to the corner. So second down and long, Rose looking to throw, launches one-on-one coverage again, number 11 and number 11 over there. Garrett Ewing going up against Ethan Altick, and the pass falls incomplete, and it'll bring up third down.
Yeah, long throw right there all the way out to towards that Indian sideline, and Ewing just not able to haul it in.
Incomplete pass stops the clock with 1:01 left to go here in the first half. Seneca on top 35-0. Third down and 14 facing the Wildcats. Play comes in from the sidelines. Wildcats need to get to the Seneca 41 to pick up a first down. Rose gives the ball to Wilson. Wilson with room around the right end, and he makes a man miss over there at the corner, takes it across midfield into Seneca territory, picks up about half of what he needed for the first down, and the clock is running inside 45 seconds as he takes it to the Indian 48.
Now, pretty good run there by Wilson, getting out off the right edge. Tough to tackle in the open field. It's a tough thing to do. He was able to make the first guy miss before he was brought down.
And Cassville sending in the punting unit with less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Cassville will have to kick it. The play clock at 13, the game clock at 20. So the Wildcats will have to hurry up here. Hernandez, low snap, bounces, picks it up, and gets a line drive kick away under a pretty decent rush. No one back to return. The ball bounces at the 20, rolls all the way down to the 5-yard line. Another great kick by Hernan Hernandez. The Indians will get it and have 3 seconds with either to run a play or take a knee and head to the locker room.
We'll see what the Indians elect to do here. Chances are it may just be a knee and into the locker room, but we'll see if they decide to run a play.
45-yard kick, no return. Indians backed up at their own 5. Actually looks, they're going to say the 5. Start to say that one guy was at the 6, but it looks like it is at the 5. And a high snap brought down by Hoover, and that could have been disastrous right before halftime. But he is able to gather it in, gives the ball off to Mars, and Mars fights his way out to the 11, and that'll be the final play of the half. They head to the locker room here at Cassville with the Indians of Seneca leading the Wildcats 35-0. We will step aside and be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. Seneca leads the Wildcats 35-0 here at halftime. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are also vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. It's time for the halftime show, brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. They're family-owned and operated. Shoemaker Tire in Golden, Missouri, right there on Highway 86. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Well, it's been all Seneca here in the first half. The Indians got on the board a little less than midway through the opening quarter on an 18-yard pass from Gavin Hoover to Morgan Vaughn. They went for two and converted to jump out to an 8-0 lead. Then, with 2:05 left to go in the first, after Cassville had backed the Indians up inside their own 5, a 96-yard pass from Hoover to Blake Hearn, and it was 15-0 in favor of the Indians. Early in the second quarter, a 24-yard pass from Hoover, this time to Connor Ackerson. The extra point was blocked. It was 21-0 Seneca. 5:15 left to go in the second quarter, a 32-yard run by Hoover. The extra point again was blocked. It was 27-0 at that time. And then to close out the scoring with just under 3 minutes left to go before halftime, Hoover running in from 27 yards out. This time the two-point conversion was good. It's 35-0 Indians here at the break.
Tough first half of football. If you're a Wildcat fan and if you're in that locker room right now, it's probably a pretty tough halftime. Not a lot to say other than you got whipped in the first half. And you go in, you make adjustments, and you come out and you show some moxie, you show some heart, and you compete in the second half of this game.
Looking at other scores around the Big Eight here in week number 3, of course, we talked about in the pregame, Nevada and East Newton played last night. Nevada winning 68-0, but late in the first half, up at Lamar, the Tigers struck on their very first play of the night on a quarterback draw by Joel Beshore, and they lead at 42-0 over Monette. Mount Vernon has a 7-0 lead. The score we got was in the first quarter in the Bell Bowl over at Kelly Field in Aurora. Reed Spring 35-0 over Springfield Catholic late in the first half. They have reached halftime up at Marshfield, and the Blue Jays lead Hollister 14-6. Also late in the first half at Rogersville, McDonald County has a 7-0 lead over the Wildcats.
There's some interesting scores out there. Mount Vernon, Aurora. And the Hollister and Marshfield game, the one we talked about in the pregame, living up to the hype. We wanted to see how, who was going to come out on that, because both of those teams were just not real sure. Just not real sure about either one of them. We're gonna find out about them tonight.
Cassville Marching Band entertaining the crowd here at halftime as they are putting on their performance. We have an extended halftime here tonight at Cassville. Seneca leading the Wildcats 35-0. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, over 50 years, they've been taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire in Golden, Missouri, 417-271-3490. We'll step aside and be back with more after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Cassville, the Wildcats trailing Seneca 35-0 here at halftime as the Cassville Marching Band continuing to entertain the crowd. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. Visit them online at shoemakertire.com or give them a call, 417-271-3490, or drop by and see Mark and the gang at Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Your Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They're located at the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Your choice for genuine Ford service and parts at very affordable rates. They're the go-to shop for auto repair. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville says go Wildcats. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com. And you can listen to the Wildcats on the Apple and Google phone apps, courtesy of White Funeral Home in Cassville. White Funeral Home and Crematory. Let them help lighten your load. 35-0, Seneca with the lead here at the break. Looking at some of the team stats from the first half. The Indians unofficially 18 carries for 166 yards on the ground. They are 4 of 5 through the air for 174 yards for a total of 340 yards of offense in the first two quarters. They picked up 8 first downs. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized 3 times for 30 yards and did not have to punt. Cassville, 18 carries for 38 yards, 2 of 5 through the air for 8 yards for a total of 46 yards of offense. The Wildcats picked up 3 first downs. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized once for 5 yards, and Cassville punted 4 times for a 46-yard average. Gavin Hoover, the quarterback for the Indians, has ran for 81 yards and 2 scores. He's thrown for 174 and 3 more touchdowns. And Jackson Mars has ran for 79 yards and a touchdown. And Blake Hearn has 2 catches for 132 yards and a score. Morgan Vaughn has 1 catch for 18 yards and a touchdown, and Connor Ackerson has 1 catch for 24 yards and a score. Leading ball carrier for the Wildcats, Bryson Jacobson, 27 yards on 4 carries. Garrett Ewing, the leading receiver for the Wildcats here at halftime, as he's got 1 catch for 7. He's also got 1 carry for 4 for a total of 11 yards of offense through the first half of play.
Not a very pretty half of football, but again, going at halftime, I said earlier, they're probably not having much fun in there, but at this point, for the coaches to go in there and just blast them all over the locker room, it's not going to do them any good anyway. You got to find a way to get them to come back together and come out and play a second half of football. Compete hard, play hard, build on something heading into next week.
Yeah, because as crazy as it sounds, the pressure just got taken off of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're down 35-0 here to start the second half. We're going to have a running clock. You can come out and play free and easy now. The tightness of the game that was maybe there at the outset has now gone away. Come back and start, like you said, building on positive things, trying to build some momentum, get some continuity going, and start chipping away at this lead. You never know what's going to happen. You still got a whole half of football. If it doesn't go your way, or if it does go your way, you got to start building on positivity heading into week number 4.
And play hard. When you're not playing hard, that's when injuries happen, things like that. And also play hard in this second half, because I promise you, a few doors down for us, there's a camera sitting in there where the coaches are filming everything that's going on in this game, and they're going to see who's playing hard in the second half of this game and who's not. So there's a chance you're on camera just about anywhere you are, but in the second half of this game, if you're a Wildcat player on that field between the out-of-bounds lines, you better be playing hard and finish the game strong.
Yeah, because it's the old sports cliche. There's a million of them out there, but it's gut check time.
Absolutely. It's and heart. Don't take what happened to you in the first half of this game lying down. Get up and fight.
And we have seen Seneca do it to Cassville in the past, so hey, why can't the Wildcats do it to Seneca?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a tall order. I mean, anything can happen. But the point is, play hard. Finish the game playing hard. Even if you get beat, play hard. And until the coach tells you to come out and someone else goes in, play hard every snap.
Youth football for Cassville being recognized here at halftime as well. If you're watching on Cassville Web TV, Todd's scanning the sidelines, showing all the young Wildcats as they are here being recognized in festivities here at halftime, as the two teams still in the locker rooms, still a few moments away from the start of tonight's second half. So we will take another break here with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, they've been a name you can count on for tires since 1961. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires in no time flat, or just when you have no time for a flat. They can get you fixed and back out on the road. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Seneca leads at 35-0 here at the break. We'll step aside and be back with more. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you at Cassville as the full moon is starting to rise over across the field. Beautiful fall moon, and we're not even officially to fall yet, but we're closing in on the last few seconds before we get set to start the third quarter. Seneca leading over Cassville here at the break 35-0. The Indians have dominated the first two quarters, but now it's Cassville's turn to try and set a tone for the second half. We will have the running clock to start at the outset, and the Indians are going to get the football. So if Cassville can come up with a stop here and kind of turn momentum towards their sidelines a little bit, that will definitely be a good sign to start the second half. We'll see if they can get that done. Both teams going through their warm-ups as we get set to start the second half. That's going to wrap up tonight's Shoemaker Tire halftime show. As always, Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. You can find them online, shoemakertire.com, or call 271-3490. Gavin Hoover with 5 touchdowns, 3 passing and 2 rushing to lead the Indians here at the break. He spread the ball around to 3 different receivers as the Indians scored on their first 5 possessions of the night. And they lead it 35-0 here at the half. Closing in on the start of the third quarter. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They've been making and designing and building new and custom-built pallets for over 15 years. They specialize in pallets at J&M Pallet Company. Their motto is "In God We Trust," and they're backing the Wildcats all the way. Give Jeff a call at 417-847-6732. That's 847-6732. The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Second week in a row, the Wildcats have been here at home. And next week, week number 4, as we move into the middle third of the regular season, Cassville will head out on the road. Looking at the upcoming schedule for Cassville, they will be at East Newton next Friday night. Then they come home on the 23rd to play McDonald County. And then it's back-to-back road games, September the 30th at Nevada, October the 7th at Springfield Catholic. Come home to play Lamar on the 14th, and then the Berry County Brawl, week number 9 this year. That's a change to the schedule as well, as Monette will be hosting the Wildcats on October the 21st for the annual Berry County Brawl. And then it's on to district play, and of course we've talked about numerous times how district play is going to have a new look to it this year, with only Cassville, Aurora, and Reed Spring out of the Big 8 still in the Class 3 district. You've got Buffalo, Clinton, and Osage in there as well, so definitely a new look to that Class 3 district this season.
Yeah, some long bus trips potentially.
Peter Littlefield will be kicking the ball off to start the second half. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash Car Wash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Littlefield will be kicking out of the south end here at Wildcat Stadium. And we have back deep for the Indians, Ethan Altick and Jackson Mars. Littlefield gets a leg into it, booms it down the left hash, takes Altick all the way back to his 6-yard line. He'll bring it out from there. He's got a wall in front. He's across the 20, across the 25, sidesteps a man, takes it across the 30, and is dropped short of the 35. So Seneca will have their first possession of the second half, and it will begin at their own 33, it looks like. First and 10 Indians, and we do have a running clock right now with the 35-point rule in effect, like we had last week when Cassville was leading by 35 at the break over Aurora. The clock will only stop for injuries, official timeouts, or coach timeouts. Everything else, incomplete passes, balls out of bounds, things like that, the clock will continue to run until the disparity between the two teams gets back under 35 points. First down, high snap, goes to Hoover. He gives it off to Mars. Mars hit in the backfield and then fights back to the line of scrimmage, is able to pick up a half a yard maybe, and it'll bring up second down.
Yeah, a good pop there at the end of the play by Lamborn. Mars fighting for yardage, was able to rip out of a couple of tackles. Another Wildcat defender had him around his ankles. Lamborn came through and really put a shot on him at the end of the play.
Mars with 79 yards in the first half, but did not find the end zone. Picks up about a half a yard on his first carry of the third quarter. Second down and long. The Indians give the ball to Mars again. They're wanting to run some clock. Mars bouncing off the Cassville defenders, takes it across the 35 and has finally got his forward progress stopped. So the Wildcat defense rising to the occasion here, and it's 2 carries for Mars, and he's only picked up about a yard and a half.
Yeah, still some pads popping down there in the trenches, and at the end of these runs, Mars no quit in those legs, but watching this Wildcat defensive line and linebackers come up and make those stops, they're playing hard, Sammy.
So third down and 8 now facing Seneca. They were just 1 for 4 in the first half on third down conversions. Mars fakes the handoff to him, and he goes deep, and he's got a man open, and he overthrows the intended receiver as Altick had got 5 yards behind the secondary, and Hoover, who had been on the money on all of his passes in the first half, missed the wide open receiver, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, I'll take a nice move out there, a little double move, pump fake by Hoover. And we hadn't seen him miss very many, and missed a touchdown throw right there.
So 4th down and 8, and Seneca has to pump for the first time tonight. Hernandez and Rose back at the 30 awaiting the kick. And the punt is away. It's a good one. Rose calls for a fair catch and hauls it in back at the 29-yard line.
Well, defense comes out, gets a stop. Offense coming on the field. We'll see if they're able to get anything going here and get this 35-point clock slowed down.
Already 3 minutes has expired, and Seneca only ran 4 plays. That shows you how quickly things will slip away from you with this running clock. "35-yard kick, no return. 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 29-yard line. Rose is going to run the option, keeps it himself, turns the corner, and takes it out to the 33. Picks up about 4 yards on 1st down.
A pretty good read in the option game right there by Rose. Faking to the fullback, kept it himself. Looked like he might have wanted to pitch there. Decided to tuck it. Good call right there.
3rd quarter tonight brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where the motto is "In God We Trust." Remember, during the 3rd quarters of your life, praise God whether you win or lose and give him the victory. Phone Jeff for all your pallet needs at 847-6732. 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats at their own 33. Twin receivers to the left. Split backfield behind Rose. He gives the ball to Jacobson. Scott Wilson leading the way. Makes a cutback across the 35 out to the 37. Picks up 4 more yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, Jacobson saw Wilson go, and he immediately put his foot in the ground and just tried to follow him right up in that seam. The Indians keep him a little bit short of the 1st down.
3rd down and less than 2 for Cassville. They're down to 7.5 already with the running clock here in the 3rd quarter. Twin receivers go wide to the right. That's Ewing and Roark. Split backfield again behind Bodie Rose. Drops under center, gives the ball to Wilson. Jacobson leading the way, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. One Indian defender hitting behind the line, and then he's trying to fight for extra yardage. He needed to get to the 40, and they say his knee touched down. The ball ended up out close to the 40, but they said his knee touched down back about the 38.5-yard line. So it's going to bring up 4th down and less than a yard.
Yeah, just not quite able to get there, fighting for that extra yardage. And it's just been a tough go for this Wildcat offense, trying to race sideline to sideline, and the linebackers, you're dealing with the speed of the linebackers, trying to run up inside. You've got a defensive front in there that's really holding their ground. They've been tough to move out of the way. So the Indians have been very tough on defense tonight.
They bring the chains on for a measurement, and it shows that the Wildcats come up just short. 1st down measurement brought to you by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. So the officials stopped the clock there for the measurement. 6:54 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 35-0, Seneca with the lead. And the Wildcats facing 4th down and less than a yard to go at their own 38.5-yard line. And they are going to line up to go for it here. Wilson wide to the left, Ewing wide to the right. Double tight formation. Bodie Rose on the quarterback keeper. They get a nice surge, and the surge pushes out to the 40-yard line, and it looks like it's enough for a Cassville 1st down.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job up front right there. Nice job, Rose, tucking right in behind his offensive line.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. They're first in all your farm building needs. Check them out online for examples of what they can custom build for you. SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com. So 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 40. Closing in on 6 minutes left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage. Again, send Wilson wide to the left, Ewing wide to the right. They keep Jacobson all alone in the backfield. And Bodie Rose fakes the handoff to him, rolls to his left, throws against his body, and the catch is made out at midfield by the tight end Ruark. He breaks a tackle at the 40, and he's down the sidelines at the 20, at the 10, 5, touchdown Cassville.
And a great block at the end of the play by Garrett Ewing, raced all the way across the field. Number one, great throw by Rose, and a great catch by Ruark, and the ability to stay on his feet, actually put his hand on the ground to stay upright, racing down that Wildcat sideline. Ewing raced all the way across the field. There was one defender gaining some ground on Ruark. Ewing races over, great block right around the 12-yard line, sprung Ruark on into the end zone. Great play, a lot of good things happened in that play right there.
So Littlefield in to attempt the extra point, and the kick is up, and it is good, but we got a flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance, conveniently located on the square in Cassville, also in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. Wildcat extra point brought to you by the Barbecue Station, 900 Main in Cassville, just north of the square. Get your bib on at the Barbecue Station. You can also call for all your catering needs, 847-0470. And we got a personal foul called against Seneca. And will that be assessed on the kickoff, Mr. Speakman? Or when did it occur? Will they assess it, or you think? Okay. So they more than likely will assess it on the kickoff here. So we'll see where they spot it up. But with that touchdown, the 40 yards, or actually, that was a 60-yard strike from Bodie Rose to Riley Ruark. That puts the clock back to normal operation with 5:41 left to go in the third quarter.
Well, again, just a lot of good things happened on that play. Number one, young quarterback rolling to his left. We saw him do it earlier and did not make a very good throw. This time rolling to his left, throws a bullet out there. Ruark coming right down the yard marker, reaches out, snags the football. Great catch, takes some contact. He stumbles, puts a hand on the ground, stays up, runs another 30 yards down the field, and a wide receiver completely away from the play, races across the field, picks up a massive block, which ends up letting Ruark get in the end zone. There's a lot of good things that the coaches saw in that play, and, hey, it's things like that you build on. We talked about building towards the next week. It's plays like that that are going to help them do that.
So they mark the 15 yards off, and Littlefield will be kicking off from the Seneca 45. 15-yard penalty against the Indians. That's been one thing that has hampered them tonight. 4 flags against Seneca for a total of 45 yards. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash with the soft cloth automatic featuring custom wash technology. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. And Littlefield puts this one out the end zone for a touchback as Seneca will take over at their own 20. 5:51 left to play here in the third quarter. 35-7 now. Seneca with the lead after the Cassville touchdown. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. Pallets are customized to fit your needs at J&M Pallet Company. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Jeff is an avid Wildcat supporter, and he's just a call away at 847-6732. That's 847-6732.
We will see if the Wildcat defense can build on the last possession.
Hoover with twin receivers to the right. Now we have movement along the line of scrimmage as the man comes in motion. And it will be encroachment against the defense. Cassville gives Seneca a free 5 yards and moves it out to the 25-yard line. So the 1st and 10 turns into a 1st and 5. Cassville going with the 4-man front. Back up to the line of scrimmage. Mars alongside Hoover in the backfield. Man comes in motion, and they give the handoff to him, and that is Ethan Altick. Altick with a lead blocker, trying to get to the corner and turn it upfield, and he does take it out across the 30 to the 31, maybe the 32, and he has enough for a Seneca first down.
Altick also just another one of these skill players for the Indians that appears to run extremely well. He got around that edge in a hurry.
It's a gain of 7. After the penalty, they only needed 5, and first down for Seneca at their own 32. Hoover from the shotgun once again, going to run it himself. Now he runs the option as he makes the pitch to Mars. Mars trying to get to the edge and is hammered down at the 35-yard line. Good job by Burton once again, along with Keaton Schellenberger, and it's nice to have him back there at middle linebacker. And it's a gain of only 2, maybe 3, and it'll bring up second down and long.
You know, Burton's been around the football on defense a lot tonight. We saw him, especially early in this game, in the first quarter. We were calling his number a lot, and he just made another nice play right there.
Twin receivers go wide left. That's Olson along with Ackerson. Second down and nearly 8 to go. Inside handoff goes to Mars. Mars with a little running room off left tackle, but then is stacked up as he gets out to the 38-yard line. Still trying to fight for extra yardage, but the Cassville defense is able to stop him there. And it's going to bring up third down and about 4 for Seneca. Looks like third down and 3 as they give him the ball all the way out to the 39-yard line.
Once again, another big third down for this Wildcat defense. Be a great time right now to get the Indian offense off the field.
Unbalanced to the left. Hoover runs the option, makes the pitch to Mars. Mars makes the cut, got the first down. Still on his feet across the 50 into Cassville territory. Finally tripped up and brought down at the Wildcat 44.
Hoover takes a lot of attention, and when they're in the option game, you gotta respect what he's able to do with the football. And you focus on him, and he delivers a nice pitch out there to Mars. And another guy, you got to respect what he can do with the football. It's just tough to be in all those places at one time, and they needed 3. Mars picked up a few more than that.
Yeah, they end up on a 17-yard carry, and with that carry, Jackson Mars goes over 100 yards rushing tonight. Unofficially 106 yards on 16 carries. New back in the backfield, but Hoover keeps it himself, and right up the middle he goes. He's inside the 35, down to the 33. And that is going to be another Seneca first down. It's been a very effective play. And Hoover is doing that from about 5 yards deep. He's been operating from the shotgun, and of course that helps him get a little momentum and a head of steam, but you would hope it would give the defense a little more time to react, but that shows you the job the offensive line for the Indians is doing, opening up that hole for Hoover.
And the ball faking in the backfield too. He's riding out those fakes a little bit longer, forcing those linebackers to, make a choice that they have to pause for a moment, and then once the ball pops, then they have to go.
Handoff this time goes to the new running back, Dominic Wheeler, and Wheeler running to the short side of the field is knocked out of play over there on the Seneca sidelines. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds. Wheeler gets his first carry of the night. And it looks like they're going to put it at the 28 after a gain of about 4.5, and it'll bring up second down.
Indians methodically working their way down the field in this series.
We're down to 2:40 left to go here in the third quarter. The clock is back to normal operation after the Cassville touchdown. Hoover looking to throw. He's got a man open down the middle, and the catch is made. Touchdown Indians on a diving reception at the goal line by Ethan Altick, and that is his first touchdown catch of the night. So 4 different players have caught a touchdown pass from Gavin Hoover here this evening.
Just speed there, as Altick just outran the defenders, got behind him. Hoover laid it up there perfectly and allowed him to run by the safety underneath the football.
8 plays, 80 yards, just a little over 3 minutes off the clock. And the extra point is good to make it 42-7 in favor of Seneca. So now the 35-point rule is back into effect, and once again we're going to have a running clock. 28-yard touchdown strike from Gavin Hoover to Ethan Altick. That is 4 touchdown passes thrown by Hoover tonight to go along with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They repair used pallets, build and design new and custom pallets. Jeff reminds team members that through God, all things are possible. Phone J&M Pallet Company at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. Tonight's Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford, your hometown dealership with hometown roots. Les Jacobs Ford, proud to be giving back to their community. Go Wildcats.
The passing game of the Indians tonight, I can tell you personally, I did not expect to see them come out and throw for 4 touchdowns tonight. And I know they were going to run the football, but I didn't expect to see them in the passing game be so effective tonight.
Enoch Miller has a little pooch-style kick almost on this time as he pops it up in the air. It may have come off the side of his foot. It's fielded by one of the up men. That's Isaac Hadlow at around his own 30-yard line. And he is able to move it ahead to the 32. Is that where they're going to spot it down? No, it looks like they're going to put it down at the 33. So the clock put back in motion with 2 minutes left to play here in the third, and it will be a running clock now once again after Seneca answered Cassville's score here in the second half, and the 35-point margin is back out there. Bodie Rose going to keep it himself after a fake handoff, takes on contact across the 35, out to the 36, maybe the 37. Rose taking a couple of licks there, but hanging on to the football and picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, he's still running hard. Faking to the fullback and turning it up nearly right behind him and taking on contact, not slowing down one bit.
So 2nd down and 7 now for Cassville. Ruart goes wide to the right. He's the only receiver in the formation. Got double flankers this time, and Rose going to run the option. He had Wilson the trail back, but the Seneca defense gets to the Cassville quarterback, and he has to keep it. And he pushes ahead to the 37 for a gain of only 1. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
The timing on that play looked a little out of whack. Not sure.
Yeah, they brought a man in motion, and
yeah.
I couldn't really tell whether he was a little early or a little late, but you're exactly right. It didn't look like everything was flowing real smoothly. So 3rd down and we'll call it 7. Maybe a short 7, long 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. Most likely it'll be the final play here of the third quarter. Rose throws underneath. The catch is made at the 40-yard line by Wilson. Takes on contact and blasts his way across the 45 out to the 47. You were talking about at halftime coming out with a little fire and the no-quit attitude, and we saw it right there from Wilson as he picks up a Wildcat first down. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. You can find them on Facebook or YouTube and then call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
Hey, good play call right there. Short side of the field, good throw from Rose. Good catch by Wilson, breaking some tackles along that Indian sideline, picking up that big first down. And you're right, they aren't, they're not showing any quit. They're out there in that third quarter. They're still playing hard, and that's what this coaching staff wants to see.
It was a gain of 11, first down Cassville at their own 48, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. We'll step aside, be back with quarter number 4. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talent Network. Back with you here at Cassville. We move on to the fourth quarter. Seneca leading over the Wildcats 42-7. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank. Over 26 years ago, First State Bank came to Main Street on Cassville to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. First and 10 Wildcats at their own 48. Rose looking to throw, and the ball bounces in front of the tight end, Isaac Hadlow. Another tough throw thrown across his body, and that one skipped and came up just a little bit short. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, tough throw. Tough to be consistent. It's just rolling to your left as a righty. getting the shoulders turned. It's just tough to be a consistent thrower doing that. It just takes tons and tons and tons of reps.
2nd down and 10, Wildcats. Ball still on their side of midfield. Both teams have scored here in the second half. And the Indians lead 42-7. Twin receivers to the left. Rose gives it come back the other way to Wilson, and Wilson is hit at the line of scrimmage, pushes ahead to the 49 for a gain of 1, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, really nowhere to go. Rivalorio, right tackle over there. As Wilson's trying to run off right tackle, 3 Seneca defenders in the way. And Austin, there's only so many people you can block at one time. You're not going to have a lot of success when you got 3 in front of you.
So 3rd down and 9 facing the Wildcats. Split backfield, Wilson and Jacobson. Rose straight drop. Throws out in the flat to Ewing. Ewing has to readjust to the pass, and it's over his head, incomplete. He started to turn out and then saw the ball was more over his shoulder and tried to spin back towards the hash mark. But the ball sailed on Rose just a little bit, and it went incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that's a long throw right there. I mean, he's throwing from the near hash, the Wildcat sideline hash mark, and he's throwing that football all the way across the field towards the Indian sideline.
Yeah, that was all the way to the numbers and beyond on the other side.
That's a long throw, and he threw it out there where only his man had a chance to catch it.
First punt of the second half for the Wildcats. Hernandez gets another good leg into this one, drives it down the Cassville sideline. It bounces down around the 15, and it looks like they're going to say it went out of bounds at the 16.
Pretty easy one to mark there when it actually hits the sideline when it comes down. So the official runs right to the spot.
So 9:30 and counting left to play here in the 4th quarter. Ends up being, let's see, what was it? Got a 35, 36-yard kick. No return. 1st and 10 Indians at their own 6. And we've got a new quarterback for the Indians as Coach Hilburn bringing in the 2nd unit. Caden Klaus, sophomore. Runs the football out to the 17. We got a flag thrown right at the spot of where the carry stopped. And right now they're pointing towards Seneca. So Klaus was able to pick up a couple of yards, but then the flag is going to take that gain and a little more away. So it looks like the signal and holding.
I'm not sure I ever saw the signal.
It was kind of close to the vest there, signal. I'll back them up to the, they're going to put it down, the 9-yard line. Looks like where they're going to set it down. So 1st down over again. Under 8 minutes to go. Klaus wanting to throw the ball this time. He's got a man open in the flat, up in the air, and coming down with the football is Blake Skelton. That's a 6'2", 165-pound junior receiver, and he makes the catch out around the 20-yard line.
A nice throw from your young quarterback coming off the bench, come in to get some reps, throw out to the sideline.
It's a gain of 11, but after the penalty, they needed 20, so it'll bring up 2nd down and long now for the Indians. As Caden Klaus completes his first pass of the night. And the Indians looking to run the football here. It is another new ball carrier, Landon Brown, a junior running back. And it'll bring up 3rd down as he comes up short as he moves it out to the 23-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
See what this Wildcat defense can dial up right here. See if they can get the Indians off the field.
It's been one thing Seneca has not done real well tonight, and that's convert third downs. Klaus takes the snap, and he will not convert this one as he is stacked up back at the 21-yard line for a loss of 2.
Yeah, good pursuit right there. Wildcat defense flying to the ball themselves. We'll send the punt return team on the field.
6 minutes left to play here in the football game. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank of Cassville. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank in Cassville. 4th down and long. Rose and Hernandez back at their own 43-yard line awaiting the kick of Connor Ackerson. Snap's a good one, and the kick is up in the air. It's a short kick. Bounces at the 49, but then takes a Seneca hop into Cassville territory, and now takes a Seneca roll all the way down to the 35. So he got an extra 15 yards after it hit the ground, and the Wildcats will take over 1st and 10.
Rose tried to run up and make the fair catch, but he could tell there at the end of the play he wasn't going to quite be able to get there. Didn't want to try to make, a sliding or diving play on the football, so he decided to let it hit and roll. Probably the smart play, and the Wildcats will maintain possession here.
Ends up being a 44-yard kick. No return. 1st and 10 Cassville, and the officials take a timeout to allow the two teams to hydrate one more time. We've got some updates around the Big 8. 42-0, Lamar with the lead over Monette up in Lamar. Mount Vernon has a 14-7 lead over Aurora in the Bell Bowl over at Kelly Field. Reed Spring running away from Springfield Catholic in the second half, 56-0 now, the Wolves over the Irish. Got a good one in Marshfield between Hollister and the Blue Jays. That one tied up at 14. And another tie score. This was a halftime score, though. McDonald County and Rogersville tied at 7. We'll try to get some more updates as we go through. We're a little ahead of those other games because of the running clock here at Cassville. So the Wildcats will start with 5:40 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Down 42-7. 1st and 10 at their own 35. Got a new quarterback for the Wildcats as well. Some new names in the backfield we'll be catching up on. As the ball carrier is Hunter Morse, and the new quarterback, Joseph Burton. Well, we've been talking a lot about Burton on the defense and on the special teams. Well, now he's the new quarterback. And on the carry, no gain.
Both teams look like you've got all new players on both sides of the football out there right now.
So 2nd down and 10 from the Wildcat 35. And Burton this time gives it to the running back, and he is stacked up right as he receives the handoff. And that ball carrier for the Wildcats was Colton Roark. He's a freshman. Again, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. So we got Riley Ruark, that's R-U-A-R-K, and Colton Roark, R-O-A-R-K. 3rd down and 10 Wildcats, twin receivers to the left. The ball is pitched back to Roark. A flag comes out. Roark turns the corner, runs over a defender. Boy, he lowered the shoulder pads and knocked the cornerback on his rear end, but the flag is thrown in the Cassville backfield.
Yeah, nice hard run there by Roark. That toss sweep around the left edge, but going to be called back. Holding call on the Wildcats.
And it was thrown 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it'll officially go down as 10, but actually takes 12 yards away from the Wildcats. And it will move the ball back to the 23 unless Seneca declines. They're talking to him right now, and the Indians may decline the penalty because it was a gain of only a yard or 2. They are going to decline it. And it'll bring up 4th down.
And declining that. Brings up 4th down. Wildcat punt team on the field.
So the officials did stop the clock while the decision was being made about what to do on the penalty. But now it's back running again. Under 4 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Seneca on top 42-7. And the Wildcats trying to hustle and get personnel in to get this punt away. Play clock down to 6. And Hernandez gets the snap, rush coming, gets the kick away, gets another booming punt down to the 25 and takes a big hop inside the 15, inside the 10, all the way down to the 7.5-yard line.
Hernandez done an outstanding job punting the football tonight. Well, normally would be Wildcats would be winning the field position battle with the way he's punted the football tonight. With this Indian offense has just been first half just too much.
Yeah, that one a 56-yarder, and he's got a 59-yarder tonight.
He's done a great job tonight.
And it's not always a good thing when you're bragging on your punter, but the job he's been doing tonight, you got to brag on him because he's been getting Cassville out of some tough field position situations with his leg tonight.
Absolutely.
So the Indians going to run the football on 1st down inside their own 10. And that was, trying to see the number, another new ball carrier, Landon Dotson, sophomore. He moves it out to the 10 and picks up 2 yards. So 2nd down and 8 now for the Indians, and they're taking all kinds of time coming out of the huddle because they're trying to get this final 2.5 minutes off the clock and get out of town with a win. Play clock down to 6 seconds. Snap is a little high to Klaus, pulls it down, pitches it out. Nice little option play there run by the Indians. And that was Dotson again on the call. He moves it ahead to the 13, picks up 3, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Wildcat defense, 2nd unit, out there trying to show what they can do on tape as well.
So 3rd down and 5 now facing Seneca. Again, they're taking as much time as possible coming out of the huddle, but they're going to have to pick up a 1st down, I believe, to run out this clock because we've still got a little over 90 seconds left to play in the football game. Twin receivers to the right. Lone man comes out to the left. Cassville with a 4-man front. Man comes in motion. We got whistles. And I think we have a Seneca timeout. They were trying to scramble and get personnel in, and with the new faces into the ball game, somebody either wasn't lined up right or didn't get the right personnel in the right position, so they call a timeout. Stop the clock with 1:20 left to go in the football game. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. At Security Bank of Exeter, Cassville, Wheaton, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. They have all the newest banking features with the same hometown service. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. 42-7, Seneca with the lead. And 1:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Indians are going to improve to 3-0 on the season. And 3 impressive wins for Seneca to open up 2022. Cassville will suffer their first setback of the year. And they head out on the road next week to East Newton. Klaus fires the pass to the Seneca sidelines. It's caught out at the 20-yard line. And the receiver turns upfield. And that was Skelton, as he is able to move it out to the 23 for a gain of 10. And that will pick up a Seneca 1st down. So they will now be able to run out the clock. They'll have to snap it one more time, and this ball game will be in the history books. They line up in the victory formation. Klaus takes a knee, and that's going to do it. Seneca comes to Cassville, and they score on their first 5 possessions of the night to open up a formidable halftime lead. After the Wildcats had cut into that lead early in the 2nd half, Seneca answered with a touchdown of their own, and they go on to the victory here tonight, 42-7. We're going to step aside and be back with the postgame show after this break. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Cassville, it's time now for the Law Office of John A. Leewright post-game show. They're proudly supporting the Wildcats, and the Law Office of John A. Leewright wants everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 417-847-2177. Seneca had built up a 35-0 halftime lead. The Wildcats cut into that lead with 5:41 left to go in the third on a 60-yard pass from Bodie Rose to Riley Ruark. The extra point by Peter Littlefield made it 35-7. But the Indians answered 3 minutes later on a 28-yard pass from Gavin Hoover to Ethan Altick. And the PAT once again gave the Indians the 35-point lead, 42-7, and that ends up being our final score here tonight as the Seneca Indians improve to 3-0. Cassville suffers their first defeat of the year as they fall to 2-1. Big matchup next week for Seneca as they will take on Lamar in another battle of unbeatens in week number 4. Lamar winning tonight over Monette 49-0, and Cassville will be on the road next week as they head over to East Newton to take on the Patriots. The Indians win it here tonight 42-7. Looking at some of the final stats from tonight's ball game. Team stats: Seneca 31 carries for 226 yards. They were 7 of 9 through the air for 223 yards for a total of 449 yards of offense. Indians picked up 13 first downs, did not turn the ball over. They were penalized 5 times for 55 yards, and they punted twice for a 40-yard average. Cassville held to just 53 yards on the ground on 27 carries. The Wildcats 4 of 9 through the air for 79 yards for a total of 132 yards of offense. Wildcats picked up 6 first downs. They turned it over once on a lost fumble. They were penalized twice for 10 yards, and they punted 6 times for a 46-yard average. Some of the individual numbers for the visitors: Hoover, the quarterback for the Indians, had quite as he ran 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he threw for right at 200 yards and touchdowns. Also, Jackson Mars rushing for 106 yards on the night. Connor Ackerson had a touchdown at 24 yards. Ethan Altick a touchdown catch at 28 yards. It was Morgan Vaughn, a touchdown catch of 18 yards. Blake Hearn had 2 receptions for 132 yards and a touchdown. Cassville led on the ground tonight by Bryson Jacobson. He had 31 yards on 5 carries. And receiving ball, Trey Wilson, 2 catch, 12 yards. Garrett Ewing, catch for 7. And Ray Ruark had a 60-yard touchdown reception to lead the Wildcats receiving here this evening. Seneca now 3-0, and will go up against 3-0 Lamar next week. Cassville falls to 2-1, and they will head to 0-3 East Newton next week, as we'll be over in Granby, or actually just south of Granby, there at East Newton High School, as the Wildcats take on the Patriots. We will step aside, let you hear from more from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast. We continue on with the Law Office of John A. Leewright postgame show. You're listening to Wildcat Ball here on the Talon Sports Network. Back with you here in Cassville. The Seneca Indians come to Cassville and defeat the Wildcats 4-7. We continue on with the post show brought to you by the law office of John A. Lee Wright. Their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with most expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone the law office of John A. Wright at 847-2177. Now joined by coach of the Wildcats, Coach Claudia. And Coach, a tough one. The Indians came out clicking on all cylinders early on, and it was kind of hard to get that momentum reined back in and built up a big halftime lead and on to a win.
Yeah, they're a very good team, well coached, very physical, and that was the thing we stress all week to our kids. They will come ready to play, and they're going to fly around, and match that physicality will be in trouble, which is tonight. They were more physical than us, really at every level of offense, defense, teams. I mean, that was the big thing I took away was their physicality and the speed played at.
Yeah, defense, right off the bat, when they flew football, especially backers. It wasn't just the secondary guys getting the seam. I mean, they were getting to the football and they were bringing down ball before they could make moves and positive yardage going.
Yeah, and we saw it on film a week, and we showed guys, and we stressed it. But to get out there, I mean, they're big up front, and their linebackers are very aggressive. That play downhill, very good players. Safeties are the same way. They were downhill too, making plays. They're, like I mentioned, a very well coached team, very physical. I think they'll make a lot of noise in class here.
Yeah, because you look, since they dropped down to Class 2, you're exactly right. And, I mean, going into the season, everyone in the West talking about Lamar and Data, but Seneca's opening up some in the first third of the season.
Yeah, and I thought this was a team, that probably challenged those Vedas and the Lamars of the world. They, a year ago, went and won a district championship, played Mexico in the finals and played in a tight game, returned a ton of experience, and you can't buy that kind of experience. We've had that in Cassville, before. We had kids come from teams that made deep runs. And when you come back with that experience, there's a swag you have that's just different. And this group, I from Seneca, and I had that swagger, very confident team. They should be, and they play that way.
Well, the Wildcats down half, 35-0, but kids come out of the locker room ready to go second half, and that's what you want to see because the first two quarters went. Could come out flat. They get down on themselves, get freighted, but they come out and put some points on the board in the third quarter.
Yeah, at halftime, we didn't yell at them. Nobody to yell about. I mean, what else could you say? On the field, everything, and so we told our guys, hey, here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to give up, just quit and make this thing work, or you're going to come out and show what you're about, your character, how adversity. And they came out. We got a 3-and-out and punt. And that was honestly the first time Seneca's been here. They had no in the first two games, so we made them punt. And then we went down the field, scored, hit a pass play, and we played hard until we, the mass subs later in the game. But I was proud of that effort, and hope something we can build on. And we knew we were going to have some tough games here, and so this is one of them. And we'll see how we come back next week, how we prepare, and see what East Newton and get a winner.
Yeah, because not only do you have the whole half of football to play, like you said, you still have two-thirds to build things on to press on to the next week.
Yeah, and I told our guys all week, I said, after the game, we'll know where we're at. If we are really good. If we're not good, I told them I'm not what kind of team we have right now because I'm not sure. The first 2 weeks what tells you. It's just so early in the season, and this will be the best team we played for, and they're a very good team. So we see some things. We got to get more cool, and we got to play at lesser speed. And it was a really good game for us here to see what we got to fix, and so hope we come back and fix those things and make adjustments, be better later in the year.
On that touchdown play, Jeremy pointed out all the good things that happened, and it wasn't just one thing. It was like 3 or 4 things there. And as an offense guy, you had to be smiling as well. Not only did it start, a good pass from Bodie Rose, crossed his body, which is a thing to do, hit the guy right inside, and then Ruart does a nice job making a guy miss making the catch, loses his balance, a hand down, keeps his momentum, gets down the sideline, makes another tackle, and then you got a receiver busting his tail across the field to lead block for him to bring into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. See good effort, and that's an effort. We have parts of our up front, our linemen got good protection, have a good ride out of Riley, good ball out of Bodie, makes a great effort there, and gets a block, and then, Garrett Ewing comes from across the field. He was split on the other side of the field across, makes a block, helps bring him get in the end zone. So, that was a good sign of something that we can build on. Like I said, see their effort and how they would come out in the second and respond, and hit a big after getting 3-and-out. Very proud of them.
One thing that Jeremy and I talked at halftime, and we'll talk again here, and normally you bag on the punter because the thing on the scoreboard is usually going against you when you brag at your punter, the job he's doing, but you got to brag on Hernan Hernandez tonight with the job he did, getting you out of several tough situations, flipping the field on and making them work for their score.
Yeah, and Hernandez been bigger. He was a good punter a year ago, but he's way better this year. He's had some big moments for us this year with a fake punt Hollister and big punts back at first game of the year tonight. They had across the field. He put that position. So that's happened, and we're going to have games later where that's going to come out again, that third ball game, but he's been definitely a bright spot.
Yeah, because with his speed back there, he did in that fake punt against Hall. You've already seen the following 2 weeks There was one of the punts against Aurora. They didn't know whether to drop anybody or not. And Seneca tonight, the first time, they didn't drop anybody. They were saying, okay, is he really going to kick out? And you got to get teams thinking about stuff.
So that's, we hope that we punt that people have to respect the run phase of it and maybe get a ball down there and get some extra yards and no return. The big thing is we're trying to get people get returns on that type of punt style. So it's been effective so far.
Well, back-to-back home games. You're back on the road next week. Head over to East to take on the Patriots. It's tough to go over there. You can't let a record. You got to know they're going to defend that home field.
That and you look at their scores. They're playing tough. I mean, they are playing people tough right now. Coach Ellis got them flying around, and we know we got a big job ahead of us. By no means are world beaters right now. We know we get ourselves back in order, and we'll play a lot better and a lot cleaner, and hopefully we coach better this week, gets more prepared for it.
Yeah, because you look the last two scores in the Big Eight or conference. People at the end of the week are saying, oh, this is going to happen, this team's going to beat this, and it ends up being dogfights or complete flipping. And that's the thing about conference, and you've played in it, you're around coaching in it for so many, you know how it works, and we do as well. Friday night, you got to get ready to go because Big Eight football is one tough conference play in.
It is, and there's a lot of parity this year, and obviously some teams at the top right now, but everyone else, we're kind of that tier now where I'm not sure where we're at, where we figure in kind of, ranking spots, and there's some scores that are surprising. That was a game that I thought I'd be. I mean, I think everyone's pretty this year. I think, Lamar and Nevada and Seneca on the class of the conference, but else, I think any given night could be different scores depending on who plays.
Nice to see some of your injured players continue to return as well. Keaton Schberger back in there tonight.
Nice having Keaton back. He's a captain for us. Mount's been tough, and Kenyon King's been playing well. With him, we played both those tonight, but Keaton's just a varsity player for played as a sophomore and junior, and it's nice having him back.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here in the post game. We can practice next week. We'll look forward to catching up with you again and get ready for the East Newton Patriots Friday night.
Thanks, Sammy.
Hey, Clay Weldy, join us here in the post game show. We'll take a break and be back to wrap up here at Wildcat Stadium. Back at Cassville for the final time here tonight. Wrap up the Law Office of John A. Leewright post-game show. The Law Office of John A. Leewright wants everyone to remember you may walk and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Our hard hit of the night, it is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your ready-to-stone or aggregate needs, stop Berry County Ready Mix at any convenient locations in Sheldon, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. Call Cassville office and get a free at 847-3200, 847-3200. Our hard hit of the night, Ethan Lamborn, as he had stick there in the game this evening, and he earns our hit of the night.
Yeah, there were a couple we had to pick there, and physical match down there in the field, and kind of stuck out pretty close to being right in front of us. Kind of stuck out, so nice job there.
Now for our player of the game, and you and I have broken a few times in the past and said players game. There was one night we gave the defensive unit, another years ago we gave it to the offensive line that had outstanding nights. So it's not like we completely haven't had precedence, but this time I'm going to go with 3 players, and it was on their score play, and I'm not just because that was one of the things that happened with the scoring play, but you pointed it out. There were so many things done right that if they wouldn't have been right on that play, it wouldn't have resulted in a touchdown. And it starts out with the quarterback throw, and we just talked about it with Coach Wells, making the throw across his body, feeding it to Riley Ruark. He catch, breaks the tackle, fights off there, nearly falls down, gets back up, runs down the sideline, gets another tackle, and then Gary Ewing comes all the way from the other field to spring him in the end zone. So you had 3 guys there that did everything exactly the way they needed to happen for them to be able to score. If just one of those players has a break anywhere, it doesn't end in a touchdown. So, yeah, that was the only scoring strike tonight, and it kind of is the rose-colored glass thing there, but that's such a well-executed play. We're going to make all 3 of those young men here the game tonight.
And about that, and you heard Coach Wells talking about it, effort. And talking in the second half of this game, you're down 3-0 at halftime. You could come out and lay down over for the Indians. But then you have play like this. There's so much effort in one. And things didn't work out broadcast night. But when you have effort plays down big, those are good to see and things that they can build on.
So, thank you by Faster Point Workout Catholic Prize. The service you'll find that by today alone by my need a car. All right, look at other sources for Round Gate. It's got a little bit here in Cassville. There are a few that have not gone as of yet. Lamar Diddy at 49 nothing. Reed Spring, Big Catholic 57. The only have from last night. Nation East Newton's 8-9. 8 quarter. McDonald County at Rogersville has a 21-15 lead over the last. That one had final. Then McDonald County, including the Southerners, now back with back wins. And then from 2 Lundin Rogersville at Rogersville, City 2015. Final. Hollister has now gone final, and Marshfield at home to Hollister 28-20. So 2 very good battles there in those 2 matchups. The only other one still hanging out there, the bowl in Kelly Field at Aurora, Vernon, and the Hogs. And the Mountaineers and the Hogs were locked up in a battle through the first 2 quarters, but the Mountaineers have started to play in the second half and late in the fourth quarter lead 24-7 in the Bell Bowl over there at Kelly Field. So everything final except that one. Vernon with a 24-7 lead in the ball game.
Well, nearly another weekend of football. Big 8.
Crazy, we're a third of the way through the season already.
We're headed to week.
It's like,
and,
what is going on?
It's, day of year, it goes really, really fast, and that's just the way it is. But we're having a time. Wildcats didn't get it done tonight, but things they can work on and build of some of their plays that we saw out there being the way they were. So headed to Easton next week, and as Coach said, you don't head over to East Newton with thinking you've got a game in your back pocket. They're going to get to work this week, they'll work things out, and expect this Wildcat football to be focused heading over to Newton this week.
Yeah, because they got out by Nevada last night, but in week 1 they scored touchdowns against Rogers. Next week they gave Hollister a battle all into the fourth quarter. So the Patriots will be a tough opponent next night. 3 of the next on the road now for Cassville. They try East Newton. They come back home after that from McDonald County, but then at Springfield Catholic. So 3 of the next 4 on the road. And that's a time to kind of refocus and set mind to get back as a road team to head out and on your opponents.
Well, and you go back to week 1 and how to prepare. What were the things we did to be successful on the road in week 1 down at Hollister? So they've been on the road, they've won on the road, they've got some road coming up. So you just kind of try to do things that you were successful with in week 1 and hope they work as well.
Well, that's going to wrap it tonight here from Cassville. We'd like to thank all the folks here at Cass High School for the hospitality. Always Athletic Director Doug Martin and all his staff, and all the guys in the press box for courtesies extended to us. To thank Seneca crew as we're here broadcasting on KNEO, and they helped us out with the starters and some stats tonight. We appreciate their help. All of our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, whether on web or on the radio, we thank them very much for helping us these Wildcat football games out on the waves. Stop by, let those folks know that you appreciate the support of our coverage. Cassville High School athletics, they're the ones that make it happen, and we thank them so very much. We'll hear them mentioned again here in post-game wrap-up. Thank you, Weldy, for coming up and visiting with us here in the post-game as well. Appreciate Todd hit up again on Cassville. He'll be back with us next week when we go over to East Newton, the game against the Patriots. So we're looking forward to week number 4, and we can keep some of this night with us as we roll on through the middle third of the season. The regular season already complete. It is flying by already. Well, our final over here tonight, Cassville falls to Seneca, the Indian Wildcats, by a score of 42-7. Speaking for Todd and Jeremy, this is Clapper saying thanks for joining us, and good night, Wildcat Stadium.